Good morning. This is Bobby with Renaissance Game Supply. So today we are adding inventory. We're always adding inventory, but more specifically, we're adding a bunch of commander singles, and these are from just various sets. I had them all sorted, I think, over the past year or so, just kind of setting little boxes aside with each little set name, and I had them over here on the rack. I think I showed you all previously, but just this past week I actually started to add them into the inventory, and I have found so much hidden value. And I mean, I'm talking cards, tokens worth like $5, $3, $2, singles that were pulled out of decks, that were just cast aside or whatnot, that are valued somewhere between $5 and $11, sometimes $12. So that's what I mean by hidden value. Just all that stuff that when folks normally get a pre-constructed deck, they don't like the singles in it, they'll pull them out, supplement them with something else, and go from there. And then they never look back on, looking up what they're worth down the road. A year later, 2 years later, sometimes these singles that they pull out of these decks are worth a considerable amount of money. So that's the hidden value. And that is why I always list every card, because I never know. There's too much to keep track of these days as far as what goes up in value and whatnot. So I just use this process to basically pull out and extract all that value and set it aside. So right now I'm organizing the cards that I've already listed for inventory. I've already got them alphabetized, so now I'm just throwing them in their little letter group here. So once I get this done, I will put it back over there and get back on the next set. So this is pretty much what I do every weekend. Just come out here, and a lot of times I won't even set up the camera anymore. Here, we'll turn it this way. A lot of times I just won't even set up the camera anymore, and I'll just come out here and just get stuff done. Today though, I kind of wanted to reach the audience here and just kind of let you know, still just banging away on this, like it's just working silently in the background here. Let's see here, we're just about done. We're all the way up to I. There's no J. So it's nice to get this commander deck stuff kind of out of the way. Oh, there's no K. Okay. JK. We'll just stick that in there for now. I'm missing a letter tab. So getting this stuff out of the way is important, at least for us anyway, because let me explain this a little bit. So you get like one card that begins with P, and maybe, I'm sorry, there's more, I guess. But you only get like 4 cards that begin with P, O, and then you got a little small batch of P, a couple with R in it. So it doesn't make sense to sit there and throw it in the robot sorter. It's going to take forever to do that. So a lot of times this smaller stuff, I'll just scan it by hand, or I'll use Quick List and get it listed that way. But when I come to these sets, it kind of just grinds almost to a halt. The whole process just grinds almost to a halt here, only because it takes a minute. I mean, to get these in. So these are kind of what I would consider the pain in the ass sets, but they're necessary. I mean, there's a lot of great value in these commander singles when people strip them apart, and they forget about it over time, and they just sell the collections without really kind of going back through one last time. They think they've pulled all the value out of it, and then you got the folks out there that'll take those collections and then they strip it down out of the value, or remove the value even more, and then they'll offload it to somebody else, and there'll barely be anything worth $1 in some of those bulk collections. So that's not the stuff that I buy. I buy direct from retailers who, they might organize it. They might sort it for what they need during the year that they were looking for whatever singles in value. And then I come along and I buy the rest. But I list everything, and that's how I find a lot of my value. It's because everything gets listed. Tokens, lands, you name it. I don't care if I got 40 copies of it, it's still going back up. So we got a single copy of CM2 and probably about 5 little singles, maybe 6 of CLB. So again, I just throw it in here, and this is what I spend most of my time doing, just getting stuff into the boxes here. And there's quite a few ways to organize stuff. I always like mine alphabetized by set, by year. I know that there's a chaos sorting method out there. I don't really choose that, but if you do, that's awesome. Whatever works for you. We're not here to tell you one way or the other. We're just here to encourage you to, do this for yourself and keep grinding on it every day. But whatever method works, so keep it up. We are just about done with this box. The other thing I like to work on too, and I finally bought the labels, is all the organizing of and the labeling of the sets. So I added 50 new labels to the face of these boxes, and I think I explained that in my last video. So everything that's dark, not the colored, and I still haven't figured out why it's not printing in color, but for now it's fine because at least it gives you a visual representation of what I've been adding out here and expanding on. So as you can see, it's a lot of black labels on here, and we've been doing a lot of work, so it's nice to see. Let's see here, Commander 16. And sometimes I have so few of these particular sets that I don't even organize it alphabetically yet because it just hasn't gotten there. And then sometimes I do, so I just go ahead and organize it as I'm adding it, because if you don't, you're just going to create another big problem down the road for yourself. Let's see, I got quite a few singles here. So this one here is Lord of the Rings Commander. As you can see, there's only like 5 cards for that, and including a display. So that's the thick stock, the white thick stock. And then we've got some Murders of Karlov Commander. And I don't know if I had a whole bunch of that to begin with. So I usually look for the set symbol MKC. And, oh, there it is. Again, I think, yeah, there's not a whole lot here. So this is what I had originally. And this is what I'm now adding. So as again, I probably wouldn't organize this alphabetically because I can just grab that by the handful and sort through it pretty quick. So there's certain things I'll skip steps just to try to make my pulls a little quicker. It's not really worth lettering that out because it's just going to fall over anyway. So then we got LCC, so that's Lost Caverns Commander, and then Commander Anthology. So a few singles in there. Lost Commander. So sometimes in these little sets here, I don't think it's this particular set. I think that one there was worth just a couple bucks. But yeah, sometimes these are not worth a lot, and then there's just certain singles in these that just shock me that they're worth what they're worth. I'm trying to find an example of one here. I don't think this was a set that was worth a lot. At least these particular singles that I discovered here. So anyway, we're looking for Commander Anthology, CMA. There's CMA. So again, I probably only have like 40 cards of CMA. Not a lot. LCC. LCC is different. I probably got about 300 in there. But that's what's cool about this is, as you add stuff, it doesn't have to sell immediately. And you almost kind of don't want it to. You kind of want it to sit there for a little while because it can have the potential to increase in value over time. And as long as you're running the mass price rules, you don't even have to keep track of the price going down the road because you can just run your rules and the rules will take care of the moderate increases over time. So that's what I love about this. So now I've got a whole bunch. Let me show you. This is all Commander 2018. So that's a significant chunk. There's probably 250, 300 cards there, maybe even 400. And I have 18 is right there. And the reason why I've left the box, a spare sleeve next to it, is I've always anticipated eventually catching up to Commander 18 and eventually filling this. So we're not going to fill it on this group, but we still have like almost 100,000 cards to actually organize. So I'm sure there's more out there in the other side of the garage or the barn here. So we're going to get this organized real quick. And then we're going to move on. I got some other stuff I want to show you. We got 5 orders or 6 orders, something like that, to pack up this morning. Just FYI, for those of you that are in New Mexico, it is free fishing weekend in New Mexico this weekend. So that's what's motivating us this morning to get this done and get the hell out there to the river. So hopefully I can bang this out in about an hour. It's already at F. Trying to find the set, and I can't remember what it was, but there was some tokens that was worth like $5. I wanted to show you which ones those are. And I don't remember if it's 2018 Commander, and it might be. I thought it was Stranger tokens or something like that. And they're double-sided tokens, so it's Stranger and something else, or something else and Stranger. So I'm already up to I at the moment, so I haven't found them yet. There's a K. There we go. There's some J's in there. Usually J is not a popular letter, so unless it's like a land or something like that, or Jund. Something named Jund will populate the J category, the J section here. But yeah, it's just not too popular of a letter name. Alright, so there's M. Oh, the goats are bitching already. So these mask tokens, they're all double-sided. It's like mask and horror, mask and soldier, and mask and something else. They're not really worth a lot. Mask and beast. Then there's some manifest tokens. They're double-sided. There's mirror tokens. Again, those aren't like super valuable or nothing. But that's why you got to pay attention to tokens. If you're in this game and you're trying to get your collection up and whatnot, pay attention to your tokens. There's a lot of hidden value in tokens and nobody talks about it except for me. I'm the only one that preaches tokens, as far as I know of. And I've known that little secret for years, that a lot of times people will not list them and they miss out on it. They throw it in a box, sell it to me, and I get them and I'll throw them up. Oh, here we go. So it is not called Stranger. I lied. It's Survivor. Survivor and Mirror. These are worth, I think, in near mint condition, like $5.71 a piece. So if you have these from 2018 Commander, do not sleep on those. Get them listed. Fuck. Whoops. We don't swear on this channel. We try not to. So, anyway, that's a meal. If you want to go out somewhere and eat. That's the way I look at it. I'm getting kind of fat, so that's how I break down everything is meal size or is it enough to cover a meal anymore? That's pretty much what I think about. Also, make one hell of a dent in your booster box if you're upgrading into a booster box as well. So we're going to be doing that here pretty soon. Once I get caught up around here just a little bit more, and I know I keep promising that we're going to get some more new product, but man, it's hard to do when you're sitting on literally a couple million cards here. It's hard to spend that money because I can't do both at the same time. So anyway, we have damn near a full box of 2018 Commander now. So probably the next update to this set will actually cause me to have to split the box and put A to L in one and M and Z to the other. So we're getting pretty close. So I was correct in leaving myself an expansion slot over there. I knew it was going to get filled up pretty quick. So anyway, we have organized M15 this week as well. So M15, ouch. What I did is I went M14 here and I dropped down a row and put M13 in. That way I can add more expansion for M12. So M15 I'm now going to start like down here. And the reason being is I have so much of it. So these are the new slots. I'll leave 2 spare slots for M14, and that way I won't have to shift and produce a whole bunch of work for myself. So in the meantime, we'll go ahead and get M15 out, break it out, and then we'll get some labels going on later. So the first few letters, it's probably going to be A through G. I'll leave in this box. Maybe H through O will probably be my next box. And then maybe, there's going to be a lot of S. We'll do P through S. Sorry, yeah, P through S. And then T through Z. And that should give us plenty of growth. The other thing I've been adding too, and I was going to maybe save this content for the next video upload, but we can at least talk about it, touch on it here a little bit, and that is foils. So I started to just rip through some foils lately and just pull out suspected value. Some popular staples and stuff like that that are foil. I just set them aside. And last night we started to organize those into the inventory. And I've been finding some good value. Anywhere between $1 to like $3, $4, $5 at times for those cards. So we're going to continue that tonight, adding those after we get back from the river. And yeah, it'd be kind of cool because when I bring that out here, what I'll do is I'll kind of show you some of the singles. I mean, I'm not going to memorize exactly every single card that's like worth $1 or more. I'm just going to show you an example of what I'm pulling so that, you know, if you have backstock and you got a bunch of foils and such and you're just like trying to find some quick value to get listed, you know, this will probably be a good video for you to kind of watch and kind of look out for, see what you got in your collection, and that way you can get some quick inventory up, bump up the value of your store a little bit too at the same time. So we got quite a few cards here, and I might have to move one of the letters because we are thickening this up quite a bit. And I've been wanting to get some M15 up for a long time. So when I had my physical store, I opened that store just as Born of the Gods was released. So I had it from Born of the Gods all the way through until, I think, Eldritch Moon or Hour of Devastation. I think Hour of Devastation. I'm kind of looking back to the history. So I had it from Born of the Gods till Hour of Devastation. So that was a few years, probably 2.5, 3 year span that I had that store physically opened. So a lot's changed, a lot's been added since, obviously. So it's been a little tough to keep up with. When you don't have a physical store, it's hard to just buy every set as it comes out, especially if you're a bulk buyer and lister like I am. Like, I mean, this is so much of my time every day to list all the old stuff. But I feel like it's important to get it up because, I don't know, I'm just always have been a fan of getting all your inventory listed online. And then we got an online inventory and you can always figure out what you got. Hold on here. We're on G at the moment. But anyway, M15 has been one of them sets that even when I had my store, it was very difficult to keep a collection going at that time and get everything listed online because you're so busy running the store, running events, and there's very little time for upload. So that's one of the beauties of having a little setup like what I got now, is you don't have all the distractions going on and everything, and you can just focus. So if I were to ever open up a physical store again, I mean, it's going to be massive. Like, I'm totally going to be set up. I won't have to worry about backstock. I won't have to worry about not having enough inventory. I'll be organized. And pretty much, I mean, this is going to be a very solid foundation. And a lot of stores that probably already have been established and are established, they're not going to be where I'm at. And I'm hoping in a few years that if I do decide to do this, that we'll be ready. And I won't have the same mistake I had the last time, which is not enough inventory. And so that's pretty much my motivation behind doing this. Is to just get ready. All right, so I think I'm going to move the L to the other box because these sets are starting to thicken up a little thicker than I thought. There's a lot going on here. We've gotten quite a few core sets uploaded lately. I think we've actually added to every single one of those except for maybe 10th edition. And I don't know if 10th edition is really considered a core set, but I really haven't added a lot of that yet. And I do plan to. I just, one set at a time, as they say, one day at a time, but I say one set at a time. Just gotta stay focused on it and just keep working on it every day. And that's the thing is, a lot can change, even if you skip a couple days or whatever, but as long as you just continually work on it and add and upgrade and whatnot, within a month, within a year, within 2 years, you're going to see a huge improvement on your store and your sales. All right, we're on N now. We're just about done. So the other nice thing about adding M15 is they had a lot of spider cards, if I remember right, like this Netcaster spider. Normally when I get a bunch of spiders like that, spider singles, they just sell out. And there's a couple particular buyers. I don't know if they're retailers or resellers as well, but it seems like when I get a bunch of that, it's a mass buyout for every single version of spider I have. So I don't know what's going on with spiders out there, if there's just a big following in decks and really great decks for spiders or not, but that creature type seems to sell very well for me. So I always get a little excited about adding sets that have spiders in them because I just know that those are going to be very quick sales. Other cards that sell really well for me are your goblins and your elves. Everybody knows that. Those are great cards, great creatures, really popular. So, and I think M15 had Elvish Mystics and maybe another elf in it that was pretty good. So or a staple, I should say. So it's really nice getting M15 up. I've been wanting that set since 2016, I think, is when that came out. I think M15, I think it came out in 16. So here we are, we're just about done. And if we need another box, what I might have to do is just scoot it over one. Make some room here. But I don't have a lot of cards left here. It's just like part of a row. So hopefully this will go quick. So yeah, M15, don't really have a lot of it until now. And the other sets, Battle for Zendikar, I had a bunch of. Oath of Gatewatch, I've got a decent amount of that now. Khans of Tarkir, I would love to get more of. Dragons, I have a decent amount of. What's that other set? Dragon's Maze. That wasn't that great of a set, but for some reason, several times a week, I'm still selling singles out of that. So, would love to get some more Dragon's Maze. Uh-oh, I just added all these S's to my T's. I didn't move my T up. There we go. Not a big deal. So some of the other cards that sell pretty well for me are your Flings and Read the Bones, stuff like that. That they just and Turn to Frogs. So that's another nice thing about this M15 is you get Turn to Frogs. So again, out of probably 3,500 M15 cards, that's all I have for Turn to Frogs. It's an uncommon, but still, I don't get a whole lot of it because it's a very useful card. Let's see. Trying to remember some of the other cards from that. I mean, there was a few rares, but nothing really noteworthy. No Planeswalkers, nothing like that. I remember there was a land. I can't even remember it. So here's another one that does really well for me. I forgot that it had some slivers in M15, and slivers sell pretty well. So as you can see, I've got 7 more of those, and I think these are somewhere between 78 cents to 92 cents a piece. Again, not super valuable, but when you think about how many hundreds of thousands of cards that are in bulk and the effort that it takes to get these cards listed. So if you had 100,000 cards and they're all worth 78 cents to 92 cents a piece, I mean, it gives you a pretty good idea of why I'm doing this. That's a lot of money to have here sitting in value, just waiting to be sold. And it will sell. It just may not sell today. It might not sell tomorrow. It might take a year. It might even take 10 years to sell those cards. And that's okay. That is okay with me. I already have a full-time job, so this is just retirement income at some point. One of the retirement revenue branches. So anyway, that's what we do every single day. Just come out here, just add cards, organize as much as we can, sort as much as we can, grab the cards, take them in the house, organize even more. So I'm going to spin this camera around. I'm going to show you the next thing I'm kind of working on. All right, we damn near had an accident. Phone dropped out of the tripod there. Must not have had it hooked up quite correctly. So anyway, over here in this little corner where these stacks of cards are, I've got all the different like master sets and battle bond, and I don't know, there's other things going on here. So the one set I am working on next and trying to get about 4,000 to 5,000 cards is, I think it's Innistrad Midnight Hunt. So we're getting there. We got about a row and a half to go and that box will be full. So that'll be the next set I really kind of start working on. As the robots are organizing, we'll keep popularizing that set. And then over here in this side of the barn, I've got a couple other sets. I think Kamigawa, Neon Dynasty, and there's a few other sets similar to that. I think there's more Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Just that kind of sets where they're starting to creep up to like 2,000, 2,500 cards per set again. So those I'll probably start compiling those into 5,000 count boxes and dragging those up to the house to get them added to inventory. But in the meantime, we wanted to just get all these difficult sets uploaded, and I'm talking like the list, set commanders, commander sets, and some of the master sets, because these are the stuff that they sell really well, but it's a pain in the ass to get uploaded because it just takes so much time. So at this particular past week or two, I've just finally just said enough's enough and just start getting that uploaded and out of the way so I can just really roll forward with just mass uploading again with the sets over the weekends and such. And I wanted to increase the sales there for a while. I mean, we had a rough April. I mean, it was the worst in the company's history and of 10 years of selling. 2016. No, I started in 2014. So 12 years of selling cards. April of this year was the worst. I think I had 6 sales in the entire month, which is weird because that's normally what I average per day. So I think a big part of that was the fact that I was so focused on uploading mass bulk of sets and not unique individual cards, singles like from Commanders and your master sets and some of the newer sets. I was just so focused on getting the older sets all uploaded and sorted and organized, and I was digging for the alpha, beta, unlimited stuff. I was digging for reserve list stuff, and I wasn't really focusing on my sales. I should have noticed in the first week that, hey, you know, things are a little quiet around here except for the crickets. And anyway, I paid for it. I mean, sometimes you need a low to kind of take a step back and reevaluate what you're doing. And that's what I did. So I'm kind of glad I had that experience so I could get back out here, get focused, and just get stuff uploaded. Because, I mean, what I've always tried to do before is, you know, upload some older stuff, upload some newer stuff, upload some Commander stuff, newer stuff, crack newer stuff, add older stuff. So just constantly mixing and adding a little of each era of cards. So I didn't do that. I was trying to push for 500,000, and that was what my goal was. So paid for it. I don't know if I'd want to repeat that process. Personally, if I didn't sell for 6 months, I'd probably still be just fine because I literally own everything. So I don't have any bills for this. So I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to pay rent on any of this stuff. But still, it's annoying when you're doing this and nothing's moving. You're like, man, what am I doing wrong? So that's where you need to take a step back, reevaluate, and figure out another plan. So that's what we did. So this week's goal is to work on the list. I have B through Z left to go, and there's probably 2,000, 2,500 of the cards from the list to upload. And that is such a pain in the ass set. Hold on here, we're gonna go back. Very pain in the ass set. There's probably a reason why a lot of people won't list that, because there's not a lot of duplication, and that set is massive. I don't even remember. I think when I was uploading the A's from that set, and I normally will go in and I'll filter and say Magic, the list, and then the amount of cards I show per page is 500. And what I did is, when I did that, I would show A being almost the whole page. You're talking 500 unique card names under the letter of A. Then there's B, and then all the way to Z. I think there was 23 pages of 500 cards to just kind of give you an idea. That's what I'm saying when I say pain in the ass set. But it sells. In fact, I just had an order the other day where somebody ordered 6 versions of cards from the list. So I don't know if it was their goal to try to put together a deck from just singles from the list as kind of a gimmick. But anyway, there's players out there, and everybody's got a flavor, you know. So that's why we do this. That's why we list every single card. That's why we make boring content about every single card. So again, this is a get broke slow way of doing things. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking through here and there's like a little bit of O, a little bit of P, and a little bit of Q here. So we're going to get all this added this week. And then we're going to jump back into some older stuff. I've been working on some newer stuff lately, as you can see. Phyrexia All Will Be One. It's kind of newish in the last few years. We were adding all the M stuff, so that's older. A little bit of Chaldean, so that's it's not really new anymore, really. Murders of Murders of Karloff Manor. Duskmourn, Spider-Man, Tarkir Dragonstorm, Edge of Eternities, Ether Drift. That's all kind of more of the newer stuff, I would say. And I uploaded every single card I had of that. I want to say Modern Horizons 3. We uploaded a bunch of. Trying to remember what else. Obviously, set commanders. Those aren't too exciting, but oh, here's some older stuff we've been adding a lot of too. It's Planes Chase 2012, and then Planes Chase Anthology, because those sell really well for us as well. I think what else? Eternal Masters, I added another box. Ultimate Masters, I added another box for that. Another box of Modern Horizons. I think 5 more boxes of Modern Horizons 2. We added another sleeve to our Modern Masters 2015 edition. So, Double Masters 2022. We've added another almost 1,500 cards there. So yeah, just kind of a steady mix of, some newer stuff with some older stuff with some ancient shit. So, and then you got all your masters and your reprints, and just, I wouldn't really call them special sets, but they're just, for lack of a better word, just kind of, they're not really nothing special about them because they're just reprints. But just adding all that little stuff, because I really never know what the next buyer is really looking for, I would think that in this industry, in this game, that a lot of players have what they already need, but you never know. I mean, there's still sales every day. So that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to predict sales, which is incredibly difficult to do. So you can waste time trying to predict what the sales are going to be, or you can just get everything listed. And people will buy what they can and what they want. And the other thing about it is I try to cast this widest net possible and show people I have the cards that they want, and I have probably 90% of what they want, and they can pay one shipping price, and it's going to come from one seller instead of 14 different sellers. So that's the other thing, is that shopping cart optimization. So I always keep that in mind. I think we're sitting at 47,000 unique SKUs now. So that's pretty significant. So 47,000 unique SKUs, and we have 540, I think we're at 547,000 cards online now. Trying to hit 600,000. Boy, it's gonna be hard. We're already into the first week of June, so that's probably not gonna happen. Maybe 600,000 cards by the end of July. I'll put it that way. I think I can probably hit that goal. The other thing that's been selling for us is deck boxes. There's been an uptick of deck boxes and Dragon Shield Jet Black sleeves lately. I think I've sold out of those. And that's the other thing we're going to be focused on again here pretty soon is getting the different colors of deck sleeves and deck boxes back into stock. I feel like since we've moved here almost a year ago, I have gotten bought out and just depleted and have not been able to keep up with the sleeves and the deck boxing side of this. I have not been able to keep up with those departments. Been so focused on getting stuff sorted and organized and uploaded. So I need to start paying attention to that again because I used to do that. I used to sell deck boxes and sleeves every week, and I have noticed that it's gone quite a few months of not selling anything, and then all of a sudden, bam, this week was just something different. There's probably 5 or 6 orders of just deck boxes and sleeves, or both. So that was good to see that again. It kind of reminded me I need to, you need that kick in the ass every now and then to remind you that you've got to take care of all your other departments. And just like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, I still have not added anything to that yet. It's been so magic focused. And yeah, it's a lot to handle for one person doing this. So kudos to you if you have a store and you got a staff and you're able to keep up with all this stuff. So I'm hoping to be there eventually. Just right now, just a guy in a barn trying to get stuff done, and hopefully in a few years that staff will be there. This inventory will be ready to rock and roll, and we'll have it in the store as well as online. And then, of course, we'll just keep all our personal collection stuff set aside so we can save that for in-store sales. I'm kind of excited to kind of see where we're going to be here in the next 6 months. Like I said, we're at 547,000 cards online right now. We can probably hit 600,000 by the end of July, maybe even 750 by Christmas. So we'll see. Anyway, that's pretty much all we got today. Just want to make sure that you folks are paying attention to your Commander singles, your reprint your Masters reprint singles. Pay attention to your staple foils, whether they're common or uncommon, and pay attention to tokens. You never know. Sometimes they're worth 5 times as much as a mythic rare. So just list everything. You'd be surprised what you find when you start listing everything, like things that will just shock you. Just like, wow, I had no idea that was even like playable or even worth that much. But anyway, thanks for watching. Y'all have a great weekend.